Attention in the area. May we request all alumni to please occupy their respective positions in the Borromeo field. They are also reminded not to smoke and maintain information. No children and dependents are allowed in the Borromeo field. May we also request everyone to switch off your mobile phones or turn them to silent mode. Thank you. Once again, may we request all alumni to please occupy their respective tents in the Borromeo field. Thank you. Attention in the area. May we request all alumni to please occupy their respective tents at the side of the Borromeo field. Once again, please occupy your respective tents at the sides of the Borromeo field. Thank you. Once again, may we request all alumni to please occupy your respective tents at the side of the Borromeo field. Thank you. Attention in the area. May we request all alumni to please occupy their respective tents at the side of the Borromeo field. They are also reminded not to smoke and maintain information. No children and dependents are allowed in the Borromeo field. May we request everyone to switch off your mobile phones or turn them to silent mode. Thank you. Attention in the area. We would like to inform the parents of Emil Corpus that she is in the speaker's booth. Thank you. Once again, we would like to inform the parents of Emil Corpus that she is in the speaker's booth. Thank you. Attention in the area. May we request all alumni to please occupy your respective tents at the sides of the Borromeo field. They are also reminded not to smoke and maintain information. No children and dependents are allowed in the Borromeo field. Furthermore, may we request everyone to switch off your mobile phones or turn them to silent mode. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Philippine Military Academy. The ceremony is about to begin. May we request everyone to please take your seat. We would also request all alumni to please occupy their respective tents at the sides of the Borromeo Field. They are also reminded not to smoke and maintain information. No children and dependents are allowed in the Borromeo Field. May we also request everyone to switch off your mobile phones or turn them to silent mode. Thank you.
Maaari na pong dumating si Pangulong Duterte dito po sa may Sandayal area. Ang kaunti lamang pong detalye din, kaugnay nga po nitong homecoming na ito, ang host po ng homecoming activity natin ngayon ng PMA ay yung mga klase na nagtatapos po sa number 2 at number 7. So dito nga po sa pagkakataon pong ito ay ia-adapt nga din po nila si Pangulong Duterte bilang honorary member ng PMA Alumni Association dahil nga po sa hindi nga matatawaran nitong track record sa serbisyo publiko, gayon din sa naging kontribusyon nito sa ating lipunan. Ika nga po nila, long and harmonious relationship din po ang Pangulo sa mga PMA alumni, kung saan nga po ay nagsilbi nga siya nito mga panahon nito ay Davao City Mayor pa siya noon pa nga 1994 dahil inadapt nga po siya ng PMA Di Masupil Class of 1967. Tradisyon nga po sa PMA classes na mag-adapt sila ng mga honorary members, pero meron po itong dumadaan po ito sa malalimang pagpili, iba din po yung selection process nila para manatili nga po yung kanilang hangarin na maging non-partisan. Unang pagkakataon nga po na darating po ang Pangulong Duterte dito po sa PMA magmula nga po nito pong kanyang pagkapanalo nitong nakaraang eleksyon. Unang Pangulo din po siya na a-attend ng Alumni Homecoming matapos po ang isang dekada. Ang napag-alaman po natin na huli pong dumalo dito po sa homecoming o Alumni Homecoming dito sa PMA ay si dating Pangulo at ngayon Pampanga Congresswoman Gloria Macapagal Arroyo noon pa pong taong 2004. Dahil nga po si ngayon Congresswoman Arroyo ay inadapt din po ng PMA Makatarungan Class of 1978. So sa mga pagkakataon nga pong yan ay kauna-unahan nga po after a decade si Pangulong Duterte na nadadalo na nga po dito po sa Alumni Homecoming ngayong pong 2017. So dito sa ating paligid mapapansin natin na matataas na yung mga matataas na opisyal ng pamahalaan ay naandito present na dito sa area, so all set na sila at hinihintay na lamang nga po ito pong pagdating po ng ating mahal na Pangulo dito sa area nga po ng Sandayal. So ito sa ating pong mga ipinapakita pong video, lahat po tayo ay nag-aabang na nga po at any moment ay bababa na nga po para bigyan ng arrival honor si Pangulong Duterte dito po sa area nga po ng Sandayal. So dito nga po sa ating kinaroroonan ay naging matindi nga po at naging mahigpit ang security sa pangunguna nga po ng ating Philippine Military Academy. Gayon din po ng ilang matataas na opisyal ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pambansang Pulisya. Gayon din po yung local police officers dito sa ating kinaroroonan na para nga po masiguro na ligtas ito pong loob ng Fort Gregorio del Pilar. So ito na po ang
Attention
pagdating po
in
ng
the
ating
area.
Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte dito po
May we
sa
request
loob ng
Cavalier
Philippine Military
Steve Ludan
Academy.
of PMA
Gagawaran
Class
po siya po ng
1992
arrival
to
honors
please
na
proceed
kung
at the
saan nga po
speaker's
ay
booth
susundan
now.
po ng programang
Thank
ito.
you.
Ngayon pong alas 9:30 ang alumni parade dyan po sa may Borromeo Field at kung saan nga po ay susundan nga po ng mensahe po ng Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Natutunghayan po ninyo sa ating pong PTV special coverage live po. Naandito na po ang Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
please occupy your
Kasama, pinapaabot ang ating panawing pandangal. Pangulo, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Republika ng Pilipinas, ang kanyang taus-pusong pasasalamat, parangal, ginawan natin sa kanya, ngayong umaga.
At this point, we request the honor of the President for a photo opportunity. May we also request the Secretary of National Defense, the Chief of Staff, AFP, the Chief, PNP, and Major Service Commanders to join. May we have the members of the PMAAI Board of Directors to proceed at the stairs. May we request the officers of the Philippine Military Academy to stand by for the photo opportunity.
Thank you. Okay na po. Atras na lang po tayo, sir. Sa likod. Para sa next na batch.
Thank you. May we have the officers of the Philippine Military Academy to proceed at the stairs. May we request the ladies to stand
Pero
by for the
may
photo
dadaanan po dito
opportunity.
na isang barracks ang mahal na Pangulo, kung saan nga po ay magsisilbi siyang guest of honor para sa PMA Alumni Homecoming 2017. Alam niyo po sa mga nagiging talumpati nga po ni Pangulong Duterte sa mga nagdaang mga events o anuman pong mga tinutungo niya, at meron nga po siyang pagkakataon po na magbigay ng mensahe para sa ating lahat, na nagiging sentro nga po nitong kanyang administrasyon ang pag-alaga po o tila ba'y pagbibigay tuon sa mga kawal ng bayan, sa mga nagsiservisyo publiko, para nga po mabigyang seguridad ang mga kababayan natin. Una na nga po dyan ang sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas, na una na nga pong sinasabi nga po ng Pangulo na hindi nga niya pababayaan, bagkus ay kanya nga pong iaangat ang moral ng mga sundalo ng ating bansa para nga po ay maging kumbaga nga po ay magkaroon nga po ng mataas na moral. Ito nga pong mga sundalong ito at maprotektahan itong ating bansa, ang teritoryo ng ating bansa, ang ating mga kababayan at maiwaksi nga po ang ating lipunan sa anumang pong banda. Sa pagkakataon din nga pong ito, ang pambansang pulisya nga rin po ay pinagtutuunan din nga po ng pansin ng Pangulo, lalo na nga po kaugnay sa kampanya kontra sa illegal na droga. Pero nito pong mga nagdaang nga pong talumpati ng Pangulo, noon nga po siya ay nasa Davao City, ay sinabi nga po nito pong ng ating mahal na Pangulo na magiging katuwang na po ang sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas para nga po sa magiging kanilang papel sa kampanya kontra sa illegal na droga. Dahil nga po, bukod nga po doon sa ginagawa mo ng cleansing sa Philippine National Police,
Attention in the area. May we request all alumni to please occupy their respective tents at the sides of the Borromeo field. They are also reminded not to smoke and maintain information. No children and dependents are allowed in the Borromeo field. May we request everyone to switch off your mobile phones or turn them to silent mode. Thank you. Once again, may we request all alumni to please occupy their respective tents at the sides of the Borromeo Field. They are also reminded not to smoke and maintain information. No children and dependents are allowed in the Borromeo Field. May we request everyone to switch off your mobile phones or turn them to silent mode. Thank you. May we request all cavaliers to please proceed at your respective tents at the sides of the Borromeo Field. Once again, please proceed at your respective tents at the sides of the Borromeo Field. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Philippine Military Academy. We would like to acknowledge the following. House Speaker Pantaleon D. Alvarez, Attorney Salvador D. Medialdea, Senator Alan Peter S. Cayetano, Senator Emmanuel D. Pacquiao, Senator Gregorio B. Honasan II, Senator Panfilo M. Lacson, Secretary Delphine N. Lorenzana, Cavalier Hermogines C. Esperon, Jr., General Benjamin P. Defensor, Jr., Presidential Advisor General Eduardo M. Año, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Police Director General Ronald M. De La Rosa, Philippine National Police, Chief, Philippine National Police, Lieutenant General Glorioso V. Miranda, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Commanding General, Philippine Army, Lieutenant General Edgar F. Vallarina, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Commanding General, Philippine Air Force, Vice Admiral Ronald Joseph H. Mercado, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Flag Officer in Command, Lieutenant General Romeo T. Tanalgo, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Commander, Northern Luzon Command, Cavalier Anselmo S. Avenido Jr., Chairman, PMAAI, Cavalier Eric A. Kagawan, President, PMAAI, the former PMA Superintendents, Major General Manuel L. Carranza Jr., Major General Rufo A. De Vera, Major General Edilberto P. Adan, Lieutenant General Cristolito P. Balawing, Major General Leopoldo L. Maligalig, Brigadier General Romel A. Gomez, Vice Admiral Leonardo C. Calderon, Jr., Major General Nonanto Alfredo T. Peralta, Lieutenant General Irineo C. Espino, Vice Admiral Edgar L. Abogado, Lieutenant General Oscar P. Lopez. The PMA class of 1957, the Diamond Jubilarians. PMA Di Masupil class of 1967, the Golden Jubilarians. PMA Tanglaw Diwa class of 1992, the Silver Jubilarians. Attention in the area. May we request all alumni to please occupy your respective tents at the sides of the Borromeo Field. They are also reminded not to smoke and maintain information. No children and dependents are allowed in the Borromeo Field. May we request everyone to switch off your mobile phones or turn them to silent mode. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Philippine Military Academy. The ceremony is about to begin. May we request everyone to please take your seat. Thank you.
Opo sir, ang importante po kasi doon, makuhanan sir tayo ng camera. So medyo pa-uppick sir tayo ng camera. Yes sir, so hindi po nakalikod po sir. So, pag-uppick po sir tayo, na directly na likodan ng ang Borromeo. Isasabi po sa inyo yung medallion. So you will receive the medallion after service. So nagpapakita po sa tapos po kasi lahat na nasabitan lahat ng jubilarians natin, meron po kung few lahat yung ating stickers board na the spouses of class 1957 Baguio Award, the medallions. But do you have the medallion with you? Ayun na po. Sige na sa pinaka. It's okay po. Sa upuan ko na yan. Nandyan.
Ladies and gentlemen, announcing the arrival of our guest of honor, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Republic of the Philippines. He is accompanied by Lieutenant General Donato B. San Juan II, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Superintendent, Philippine Military Academy, Cavalier Anselmo S. Avenido Jr., Chairman, Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association Incorporated, Cavalier Eric A. Kagawan, Armed Forces of the Philippines, President, Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association Incorporated, and the PMAAI Board of Directors.
Mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas. Tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pag-asenso. Ikaw at ako.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The ceremony is about to begin. May we request everyone to please take your seat. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good morning. Today's Alumni Homecoming ceremony begins with the entrance of the Philippine Military Academy Band. The Philippine Military Academy traces its roots on October 25, 1898, when the Academia Militar was established by the President of the Philippine Revolutionary Army, General Emilio Aguinaldo. Since its inception, PMA has undergone several changes that led to its reputation of being an institution of excellence. It epitomizes the best traditions of the noble profession of arms and bears the highest standards of character, founded in honor and fortified by discipline. It has a proud heritage to cherish, a glorious tradition to uphold, and a vital mission to accomplish. Throughout the 118 years of its existence, the Academy has survived and kept its basic character, a military organization committed to training young men and women for service to God, country, and people. With all this in mind, the Academy looks forward to the future as it continuously molds leaders for the nation, espousing the values of courage, integrity, and loyalty.
Attention call has just been sounded, signaling the entrance of the Cadet Corps, Armed Forces of the Philippines. The Philippine Military Academy started with the establishment of the Academia Militar on October 25, 1898 at Malolos, Bulacan by the power of a decree issued by the Philippine Republic President, General Emilio Aguinaldo. The Academia was a school which awarded its graduates regular commissionship in the Armed Forces of the Philippines, which lasted until 20 January 1899, before hostilities between the Filipinos and the Americans erupted. On 17 February 1905, an officer school of the Philippine Constabulary was founded at the walled city of Intramuros in Manila. 3 years later, on 01 September 1908, the school was transferred to Baguio City, initially at Camp Henry T. Allen and subsequently at Teachers Camp. On 08 September 1926, the Philippine Legislature passed Republic Act 3496, which renamed the school the Philippine Constabulary Academy and lengthened its course from 9 months to 3 years, with provisions to strengthen the faculty and revise its curriculum. On 21 December 1936, Commonwealth Act No. 1, also known as the National Defense Act, was passed. The act formally created the Philippine Military Academy and authorized to confer a Bachelor of Science degree to its graduates after they have successfully completed the 4-year course. The outbreak of the World War II disrupted training in the academy. Classes of 1942 and 1943 graduated ahead of schedule, and its members were assigned to combat units of Bataan and other parts of the country. Many perished in the war. On 05 May 1947, the academy reopened at Camp Henry T. Allen. Due to the need for wider grounds, the academy moved to its present site at Fort del Pilar in Lawakan, some 10 kilometers away from downtown Baguio City, and named after the young hero of Tirad Pass, General Gregorio H. del Pilar. It was developed into a military training institution with facilities and infrastructures required by a growing academy. In the 1960s, the academy underwent major changes as socio-humanistic courses were added to balance the techno-scientific disciplines with a view towards providing a well-rounded education that is relevant to the needs of a growing AFP.
With the implementation of a Public Act 7192, the acceptance of women in the academy was introduced. With this act, the academy made a step towards the recognition of women's status and equality. The female cadets have undergone practically what their male counterparts have been tasked to do. Although living in separate quarters, they have been accorded equal treatment and training. Today, the Philippine Military Academy remains focused on its vision to reach the international standards of military academies by the year 2028, producing military professionals of character dedicated to protect and help build the nation. Its mission adheres to the philosophy that adopts a holistic view of men as body, soul, and spirit. PMA believes that future leaders can be selected, formed, and developed to their fullest potentials. Under this concept, PMA's Leader Development Program contains character development, a balanced college education, military leadership, and physical development. This total person concept is aptly captured in the PMA mission statement: to instruct, train, and develop the cadets so that each graduate shall possess the character, the broad and basic military skills, and the education essential to the successful pursuit of a progressive military career as a value-centered leader in selfless service to the armed forces of the Philippines and the nation. These young men and women in front of you compose the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines, coming from different regions of the archipelago, ranging as far north as Batanes to as far south as Tawi-Tawi. They were carefully selected through a series of competitive mental and physical examinations. These cadets represent different levels of our society and from all walks of life. These cadets before you are the future leaders of our armed forces and our nation.
As soon as the platoons occupy their respective places, the brigade adjutant designates Alpha Company as the base company. In a brisk manner called the adjutant's trot, the brigade adjutant makes his way midway between the line of troops and the troop commander. In like manner, the battalion adjutants join their respective battalion staff.
patnubay, sumalunan.
The brigade adjutant orders all platoon guides and sergeants to take their posts, in line with their platoons. As the corps is ordered to stand in parade rest, the band shall play a martial tune.
Iudyat! Da! At!
The essential and primary purpose of the Philippine Military Academy's education and training program is to cultivate and develop the cadets to be the finest young individuals, intellectually, tactically, spiritually, emotionally, and physically, to become qualified commissioned officers in selfless service to the armed forces of the Philippines and our nation. The Academy, founded in 1898, has become true to its mission to produce educated and honorable men, preparing them with a holistic education for their progressive military careers. Its alumni have handled key positions both in military and civilian institutions. For the Academy to accomplish this result, it shall provide to young men and women an undergraduate education of the highest quality, conducted in and facilitated by the unique PMA curriculum of military discipline, with emphasis placed on qualities of courage, integrity, and loyalty. And because of these thrusts, she was able to produce valor awardees who served as true affirmation that indeed the Filipino is worth living and dying for. PMA is a state-supported academic institution that has a glorious history to cherish. It provides a well-rounded education and training delving on character development, academic excellence, military professionalism, and physical development. The PMA curriculum is specifically designed to produce leaders for peace or war. Because of a rapidly changing security environment, the Academy formulated its 2028 roadmap in order to align its goals with the Armed Forces of the Philippines Transformation Roadmap and Defense Planning Guidance. This roadmap will also be guided by policies from higher headquarters, such as the Internal Peace and Security Plan and Defense System of Management. The PMA program has been based for more than 100 years on the concept of selfless service of military profession for our nation.
PMA's multifaceted program is demanding. Cadet life is designed to instill in each cadet a lifelong concept of love for God and country, courage, duty, excellence, honor, humility, integrity, loyalty, respect, and solidarity. Because cadets live and coexist in close association with fellow cadets, respect for the right of others becomes their way of life. This is the spirit of the honor code. This is their most cherished possession. Strong religious convictions are fully respected, and high moral principles are fully encouraged inside the Academy. Therefore, Every effort is made to create at the Academy an intellectual atmosphere within which cadets may mature in their religious beliefs. Cadets attend denominational church services of their preference inside and outside the Academy, where they will find a warm welcome at various cadet-oriented programs such as Bible studies, Sunday schools, church choirs, and church-sponsored social activities. Finally, after 4 long years of hard work and training comes graduation. This event means a promotion of the plebes to yearlings. To the third-class cadets, it is another year of completion closer to their goals. To the second-class cadets, this signals that they shall assume overall leadership of the Corps. And to the seniors, graduation signifies the beginning of a life of selfless service to our country and people as regular officers of the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Da! Da! Mga talupad! Banda!
The brigade adjutant faces about, salutes and renders to the brigade commander that the cadet corps is formed.
No! Handa na po ang patikas! Sumulanan ka! Mga pinuno, antabay bunot. Kalis! Baba! Sumalikod ko. Kad!
At this point, we shall witness the entrance of class colors.
Uniquely enfaced in the class colors is the class crest. Every class designates its own crest, which is of their own design. The crest embodies the symbolic ideas and character of the class. It is an arduous task to design the crest, as each cadet represented by the crest must live up to the essence embodied by each symbol found on it. Every member dons its bull ring with impeccable pride, and the crest adds as a symbol of power and responsibility. In the middle of each crest is a class numeric, larger than any of the symbols, to add on the crest's unique identity. The symmetry of the crest is a symbol of each class uniformity. Appropriately, however, the class colors are never above the national flag. Each class looks up to the flag, reminding them that their primary duty is the service to the country. The class colors must dip to show its respect to the national symbol.
Sulong. Bad. Tanghal! To!
The audience is requested to stand for the singing of the Philippine national anthem. Thank you. You may now be seated.
Dadala. Kalis. Babo! Ta! Tawat sumalunan. Kad! Rap sa gitno. Rap! Pasulong! Cut!
At this point, the class colors will proceed to the position of the respective classes that they represent. In the early years, the naming of classes depends upon the Filipino trait that the class would agree to live up to. It then evolved into contractions of Filipino phrases. Ladies and gentlemen, the Matindi class of 1963, the Masupil 1967, Magiting 1970, Matatag 1971, Masigasig 1972, Maagap 1973, Marangal 1974, Makabayan 1975, Magilas 1976, Masikap 1977, Makatarungan 1978, Matapat 1979, Mapitagan 1980, Dimalupig 1981, Sandigan 1982, Matikas 1983, Maharlika 1984, Sandiwa 1985, Sinagtala 1986, Hinirang 1987, Maringal 1988, Makatao 1989, Bigkislahi 1990, Sambisig 1991, Tanglaudiwa 1992, Maalab 1993, Bantaylaya 1994, Marilag 1995, Mabikas 1996, Kalasaglahi 1997, Masinag 1998, Masikhay 1999, Sanghaya 2000, Kaakibat 2001, Banyuhay 2002, Mandarangan 2003, Maliyab 2004, Sanlingan 2005, Mandala 2006, Maragtas 2007, Baghawi 2008, Masiglahi 2009, Masidlak 2010, Laon Alab 2011, Bagwis 2012, Pudangkalis 2013, Siklab Diwa 2014, Sinaglahi 2015, and Gabaylaya Class of 2016.
In a short while, the brigade commander will give a series of commands for the corps to execute the manual of arms.
Pagsasanay sa paghawak ng sandata sa kanang balikot.
Starting with
Ta!
right shoulder arms,
Sa kaliwang balikot. Ta!
left shoulder arms,
Agap! Ta!
port arms,
Baba! Ta!
order arms,
Siyasat! Ta!
inspection arms,
Agap! Ta! Baba!
and finally,
Ta!
order arms.
The brigade commander orders the adjutant to account the troops.
Tanggapin ng ulat. Mag-ulat.
After receiving the reports, the brigade adjutant faces about, salutes and renders to the brigade commander. Sir, the corps all present and accounted for.
Sino? Mga talupad, narito pong lahat at napag-alaman.
The brigade commander then orders the adjutant to publish the order of the day.
Ihayag ang kautusan. Makinig sa kautusan ang nakatalaga ngayong punong tagapamahala. Magat Santiago sa utos ni General del Rosario. Mga pinuno. Marap at pumagit na. God!
After publishing the orders, the brigade adjutant gives the command, officers center march. He then proceeds to his position with the brigade staff, as cadet officers from each battalion march forward to receive instructions from the brigade commander.
Communications, orders, and disseminations must pass through proper channels. This is a practice observed in the military profession, which signifies the importance of the chain of command. Through the chain of command, a more effective and efficient working arrangement results among men of arms. Now, approaching the grandstand, ladies and gentlemen, are the members of the chain of command. The officers of the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines. Upon the salute of his officers, the brigade commander acknowledges, gives his instructions, and directs them to proceed back to their respective posts. While inside the hallowed grounds of this great institution, the cadets must endure the challenging training. The military system characterizes and distinguishes the unique life inside PMA. It fosters punctuality, order, discipline, and respect for authority. By placing cadets in a uniform plane, it enables these young men and women to advance through self-reliance, initiative, and strength of character.
At this juncture, Lieutenant General Donato B. San Juan II, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Superintendent, Philippine Military Academy, will deliver his welcome remarks.
To our guest of honor and speaker this morning, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, President, Republic of the Philippines, sir. Cavalier Anselmo S. Avenido Jr., Chairman, PMAAI Alumni Association, Secretary Delphine N. Lorenzana, sir, Secretary of National Defense, General Eduardo M. Año, Chief of Staff, Armed Forces of the Philippines. Cavalier Eric A. Kagawan, President, PMAAI Alumni Association. Our oldest alumni present, Cavalier Delphine Castro, Class 51, 91 years old. Brigadier General Manuel Salamat, Assistant Superintendent. Of course, we have the oldest, we also have the youngest alumni present, Cavalier Carl Angelo Torres, Class 2016, 22 years old. House Speaker Pantaleon D. Alvarez, Speaker of the House. Attorney Salvador D. Medjaldea, the Executive Secretary. Cavalier Hermogenes C. Esperon Jr., Class 74, our National Security Advisor. Secretary Christopher Bongo, the Special Assistant to the President. Our beloved Mayor, Mauricio Dumogan, Mayor of Baguio City. The Chief of Philippine National Police, Police Director General Ronald M. De La Rosa, Class 86. Lieutenant General Glorioso V. Miranda, Commanding General, Philippine Army. Lieutenant General Edgar Fallorina, Commanding General, Philippine Air Force. Vice Admiral Joseph H. Mercado, the Flag Officer in Command. Lieutenant General Romeo T. Tanalgo, the Commander of Northern Luzon Command. May I also greet former PMA superintendents led by the incoming chairman of the PMAAA, Major General Melchor P. Rosales, Class 68. May I also acknowledge our jubilarians, the PMA class of 1957, the Diamond Jubilarians. May I also greet our Golden Jubilarians, the PMA class of 1967, the Dima Supil class. Our Silver Jubilarians, the PMA Tanglao Diwa class of 1992. Brigadier General Hener P. Del Rosario, the Commandant of Cadets. Colonel Joseph P. Villanueva, the Dean of Academics. Before I forget, my wife, Dr. Marivic San Juan. Members of Team PMA, members of the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines, fellow Cavaliers, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Cadet Maro Amsar, kindly give tikas pa niya.
Tikos! Nga! Kanino, tikas? Nga!
On 25 March 1938, in the humble grounds of Camp Henry T. Allen in downtown Baguio, the Philippine Military Academy started the first ever gathering of alumni from its predecessor school, the Philippine Constabulary Academy. Since then, it has become a fitting tradition where PMA alumni anticipate with gladness every year. At matapos ang 79 na taon, isang natatanging kaganapan ang okasyon ngayong araw na ito, sapagkat pinaunlakan ng walang iba kundi ang ating mahal na Pangulo at Commander-in-Chief, Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte, ang ating pagtitipon. Isa itong natatanging okasyon upang masilayan muli ang PMA at gunitain ang mga alaala na bumibigkis sa atin bilang mga PMAers. Sa loob ng 4 na taon, ang akademya ang nagsilbing tahanan na kumalinga sa atin. Dito nakadama tayo ng kasiyahan at kalungkutan. Dito nasubok na maraming pangyayari ang ating katatagan bilang individual at bilang sundalo. Sa kanyang paggabay, tayo'y naging matatag sa mga nakaupang pagsubok sa buhay. But at the end of the day, whatever happened in the four walls of this academy have become part of who we are all today. From her experiences and teachings, we became strong to face all adversities. Now, as we traverse the same road that led us here, we are welcomed to her hallowed grounds by the lyrics of the same familiar song, a song that was purposely etched in our hearts, not because we were made to memorize it, or we were made to do unlimited exercises the moment it was played, but the plebe song contained words that have never been true to their meaning unless one experiences the challenging life of a plebe. Today, it serves as constant reminder that once in our lives, we were the lowest who learned to follow without asking why. Most importantly, it taught us to be good followers before we earn the right to lead men. Of course, we should not forget, complementing our efforts are the support given us by our families, our parents, who untiringly supported and guided us, and our spouses and children, who unconditionally understands the rigors every man in uniform has to undertake. They are our constant source of strength and inspiration to carry on. And indeed, their love remains wherever we may be. This event is also your event. You are always part of the entire PMA community. Palakpakan po natin ang ating mga minamahal sa buhay. As we look back, I certainly hope that we do not only come here to meet with our mistas, our upperclassmen, or our underclass, but I hope that our coming here will give us a deeper sense of meaning, a time for us to retrace our roots and to share with one another the firmness of PMA virtues. May we always also take this as a far greater opportunity to share our experiences with the younger generations who are the future leaders of the armed forces and inspire them to hold dear the ideals of the honor code long after they have left the academy. And as we all leave her thresholds later today, may we bid to be the loyal sons that we proclaim we are. May the kneeling statue of Saint Ignatius constantly remind us that everything we do are just but fleeting pursuits unless dedicated for the service of the people and for the greater glory of God. Magkakaiba man ang klase, mapabilang man sa nauna o bagong sibol sa hanay ng Long Gray Line, isang bagay ang nangingibabaw, ang akademya ay mananatiling isang tahanan para sa atin, at tayo ay isang pamilya na kung saan ang bawat isa sa atin ay nagbuklod-buklod sa matibay at walang kupas na pananindigan sa larangan ng katapatan, katapangan at integridad. And for this, I congratulate and warmly welcome each one of you, especially our jubilarians, for dedicating their lives to the virtues and ideals of our beloved PMAAAI. Welcome home, Cavaliers, at magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat.
Mga pinuno. Da.
We will now proceed to the awarding ceremony.
Talupod. Da. Ang mga taong pararangalan at ang mga watawat humarap at pumagitna. Kad!
The brigade commander orders the colors to proceed to the center for the awarding ceremony.
Tawat pasulong. Kad! Tawat! To! Mahal na Paulo, ang mga taong pararangalan at ang mga watawat, narito po ang lahat. Tanghal! Ta!
The audience is requested to stand.
Mga pinuno, tanghal. Ta!
Thank you. You may now be seated.
Ano, baba. Ta. Dadala. Kalis. Baba. Ta.
For outstanding contributions to alumni affairs, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Jose C. Lapus, PMA Class of 1965. For outstanding accomplishments in special field, literature and literacy advocacy among cultural minorities, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Vicente C. Pangantihon, PMA Class of 1968. The plaque will be received by his widow, Mrs. Teresita Pangantihon. For outstanding accomplishments in private enterprise, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Mario A. Avenido, PMA Class of 1981. For outstanding performance in command and administration, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Galileo Gerard R. Quintanar Jr., PMA Class of 1985. For outstanding performance in staff functions, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Guillermo A. Molina Jr. II, PMA Class of 1986. For outstanding performance in police operations, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Roberto B. Fajardo, PMA Class of 1987. For outstanding performance in public administration, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Siegfried B. Mison, PMA Class of 1987. For outstanding performance in naval operations, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Ernesto O. Baldovino, PMA Class of 1991. For outstanding performance in air operations, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Fermin V. Carangan, PMA Class of 1992. For outstanding performance in Army operations, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Felix Ronnie B. Babak, PMA Class of 1993. For outstanding performance in Coast Guard operations, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Joseph M. Coime, PMA Class of 1994. And for outstanding performance in special operations, the Cavalier Award is presented to Cavalier Rainier S. Nirza, PMA Class of 2002. Given this 18th day of February at the Philippine Military Academy, Fort General Gregorio H. del Pilar, Baguio City, attested by Cavalier Melchor P. Rosales, Chairman, Awards Committee.
We will now proceed to the ceremonial awarding of medallions to the jubilarians. May we call in the President of PMA Class 1957, Cavalier Junicio S. Tangatwe Jr., to receive in behalf of the class the Diamond Medallion from the Guest of Honor. Likewise, may we call in the President of PMA Class 1967, Anselmo S. Avenido Jr., to receive in behalf of the class the Golden Medallion from the Guest of Honor. Finally, may we call in the President of PMA Class 1992, Cavalier Steve B. Ludan, to receive in behalf of the class the Silver Medallion from the Guest of Honor. Thank you. You may now be seated. At this point, may we request the members of PMA Class 1957 to please stand and receive their diamond medallions from their loved ones. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our Diamond Jubilarians. May we request the members of PMA Class 1967, the Golden Jubilarians, to please stand and proceed at their designated positions to receive their golden medallions from their loved ones. The PMAAI class of 1967 will now receive their golden medallions from their loved ones. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our golden jubilarians. May we request the members of PMA Class 1992, the Silver Jubilarians, to proceed at their designated positions to receive their silver medallions from their loved ones. The PMA Class of 1992 will now receive their silver medallions from their loved ones.
Nandito sa likod ko.
Oh, sa iba, saan? Sabi mo, tanggalin niyo yung cut niya. Hindi na mahanap lang. Sabi mo, tanggalin yung cut niya. Ganon kahirap maghanap ng asawa. Tatlo yan, sabi mo kung sino. Valentino!
Basta tingnan mo rin kami dito sa likod.
Una ka din.
Hip, Hazel dito, Hazel. Sino ang hinahanap?
We shall now witness as the PMA class of 1992 receive their silver medallions from their loved ones. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our silver jubilarians. Our silver jubilarians may now proceed to their designated positions. Thank you. May we request all jubilarians to please proceed to their designated positions. Thank you.
Three cheers for PMA Panglabiwa Class 1992! Hep hep! Hooray! Hep hep! Hooray! Hep hep! Hooray!
We will now proceed with the oath-taking of the newly elected Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association Incorporated Board of Directors to be administered by the guest of honor.
Kad!
May we request our guest of honor, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, to administer the oath.
Sir. Yes, sir. Would you kindly raise your right hands and repeat after me? I state your name. Having been elected to the position of the Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association, do hereby swear that I will well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability, the duties and responsibilities of my present position. That I will support and uphold the articles of incorporation and the bylaws of the association. That I'll bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will abide by the code of ethics and that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily. Without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Gentlemen, congratulations.
Thank you. You may now be seated. May we request Cavalier Christopher T. Calulot Sr., Corporate Secretary, PMAAAI, to read the Manifesto of Support for President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Republic of the Philippines.
Manifesto of Support for President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. We, the members of the Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association Incorporated, PMAAAI, many of whom are occupying key leadership positions in the armed forces of the Philippines, the Philippine National Police, the Philippine Coast Guard, and entities in the government and private sectors. Cognizant of the new political leadership that is now governing the country, do hereby affirm our solemn vow to uphold the Constitution and defend our country and people. As veterans of the various government campaigns against insurgency and criminality, we have not hesitated to put our lives on the line in the performance of our duties, unmindful of the drastic consequences of our families. We hereby manifest our desire to be counted in the totality of efforts in nation building, and toward this end, number one, we affirm our unwavering support for President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, our Commander-in-Chief, for his initiatives, advocacies, and decisions in the war against corruption and criminality in general, most particularly against illegal drugs, heinous crimes, and terrorism, and for his pursuit of lasting peace. Number two, we pledge to set the example in the exercise of leadership and in pursuing a way of life consistent with the virtues of courage, integrity, and loyalty so painstakingly instilled in us by our alma mater. Number three, we exhort all other elected and appointed officials to buckle down to work and be oarsmen of the ship of state with the President at the helm. And number four, we call on the Filipino citizens to support the President and other leaders in the governing the country toward the attainment of lasting peace and economic prosperity. Finally, we hereby express our readiness to respond with a sense of urgency to call the President during his inaugural address on June 30, 2016, when he said, "I now ask everyone, and I mean everyone, to join me as we embark on this crusade for a better and brighter tomorrow." Signed for and on behalf of the members of the PMAAI, Anselmo Abinido Jr., Police Deputy Director General PNP retired, Chairman and CEO, Eric Kagawan, Commodore AFP, President and CEO, attested by Christopher Calulot Sr., Colonel, Philippine Army GSC Corporate Secretary.
Cavalier Christopher Calulot Sr., the Corporate Secretary, PMAAI, will now read the board resolution adopting President Rodrigo Roa Duterte as an honorary member of the Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association, Incorporated.
Philippine Military Alumni Association, Incorporated. PMA Alumni Center, A. Luna Avenue, Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Board Resolution Number 16-60. Adopting President Rodrigo Roa Duterte as honorary member of the PMAAI. Whereas Article 2, Section 2C of the new bylaws of the Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association Incorporated, PMAAI, provides that any citizen of the Philippines or of a foreign country with which it has friendly relations, who has an exemplary, eminent, and distinguished professional and social standing, who has contributed to the attainment of the objectives of the Academy and the Association, and whose membership will undoubtedly bring honor and prestige to the Academy and the Association, shall be eligible for honorary membership. Whereas, with all his credentials, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte has been nominated to be an honorary member of the association by PMA classes of 1966, 1967, and 1988. Whereas President Duterte has been an adopted member of the PMA class 1967 since 1994. When he was still young as a young mayor of Davao City, and has an exemplary, eminent, and distinguished professional and social standing, as shown by his many awards as a professional and a government official, and by his unquestionable victory in the last 2016 national election as President of the Philippines. Whereas he has contributed to the attainment of the objective of the PMA and the PMAAI, considering that as mayor of Davao City for 7 terms since 1988, he consistently and ably assisted and supported all cavaliers assigned to the military, police, and Coast Guard, and expertise of several cavaliers as members of his cabinet or as appointees to the other key positions in the government. And he has already increased the allowances of uniformed personnel and assured them of substantial increase in their salaries in the very near future. Whereas his honorary membership in the PMAAI will undoubtedly bring honor and prestige to the Academy and our association. And whereas the Membership and Welfare Committee and the Executive Committee have recommended approval of the nomination for his honorary membership. Now, therefore, be it resolved, as it is hereby resolved, that the PMAAI Board of Directors approve, as it is hereby unanimously approves, the honorary membership of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte in the PMAAI, approved by the Board of Directors during its regular meeting on 14 December 2016 at the Lakambini Room, AP Officers Clubhouse, Camp Aguinaldo, Quezon City. Signed, Anselmo Abinido Jr., Police Deputy Director General, PNP retired, Chairman and CEO. Eric Kagawan, Captain, Philippine Navy President, CEO, attested by Jess Estresta, Colonel, Philippine Air Force, JSC, Acting Secretary of the meeting.
Cavalier Anselmo S. Avenido Jr., PMA Class 1967, the chairman of the Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association Incorporated, will now introduce our guest of honor.
Our distinguished guests, my fellow cavaliers, our families, members of the Cadet Corps, ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor and privilege to present to you the newest member of the PMA Alumni Association, an adopted member of PMA Di Masupil class of 1967, the Commander-in-Chief of all Armed Forces of the Philippines, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Kindly sit down. Thank you. Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez, Executive Secretary Salvador Mijaldia, Secretary Delfin Lorenzana, Secretary Hermogenes Esperon, General Eduardo Anyo, and the Major Service Commanders, Lieutenant General Donato San Juan II, Superintendent Philippine Military Academy, Cavalier Anselmo Avenido, Chairman, CEO, Philippine Military Academy Alumni Association Incorporated, Cavalier Eric Kagawan, President and CEO, Philippine Military Academy Association Incorporated, Cavalier Delfin Castro, PMA Class 1951, and the always. Sir, my salute. Cavalier Carl Angelo Torres, PMA Class 2016. It's the youngest. Cavalier awardees, outgoing and incoming PMA Alumni Association Incorporated officers, beloved Military Academy alumni, my beloved countrymen. I am an adopted Di Masupil class of 1967. That is already honor enough, but to be formally adopted by the Philippine Military Academy alumni is a double honor. In my case, because of my long and harmonious relationship with PMA alumni, but not about political consideration. Thank you for clarifying that. Truth to tell, I am uncomfortable receiving awards and recognition for work that I do as a government employee and public servant, because trabaho lang po lahat na ito. The work I do in the service of the people. And somehow, I also feel at home here at PMA because of its mission to train and develop graduates with character and skill. Being a soldier demands an inner strength, a choice to live by courage and principle. Because my own life has been molded by that principle of love of country, compassion for the poor and needy, and pride in being a Filipino. Today, these threats face the nation. First is illegal drugs. Little did I know that the drug problem was more complex until tens of thousands of drug users started turning themselves in. I directed the PMA with the support of the AFP to conduct a war against illegal drugs and it was by and large successful. At this point, may I ask the commanding officer to give the order of Tikas Pahinga.
Tikos! No! Mga pinuno, tikas. No!
Thank you. The Sulu-based ASG is focused on kidnap or ransom. The Basilan-based AEG under Hapilon remains focused on assimilating the IS violent today. As I predicted, IS would find its way to the Philippines. ASG leader Hapilon, the overall leader of the ISIS Philippines, however, has been severely wounded in an encounter with the military. I have directed AFP and PNP to continuously contain the ISIS threat through intensified operation using all available assets and resources. This is the only way to secure Mindanao. So let me bring you back to my vision for the nation. As a child of immigrants from Visayas to Mindanao, we hoped for a better life in the so-called land of promise. But now it is threatened by climate change caused by man-made diseases like extractive industries. The rest of the nation is threatened by the widening gap between the rich and the poor, crime, corruption, criminality, and illegal drugs. Government must now deliver goods and services to really serve the people, not just the interests of a few. In the past, our government verged on failure because those who were in the position to help deliberately made wrong decisions which favored only themselves. That is why I promised during my first State of the Nation address, I promise you a comfortable life. My administration is working to ensure that basic human services are available to all, food and health needs, water and sanitation, shelter, public safety, education, and economic opportunities. But we will always uphold the sanctity of the common good as the highest good, and always for the benefit of the next generation. When I was mayor of Davao, people asked me why I kept on harping peace and order. And I answered, if there is peace and order, businesses and everything else will follow. And it did. Now I believe what happened in Davao can really happen nationwide, but I need the help of each one, especially the military, not for social control, but protection the citizens from the lawless, the reckless, and the selfish. While I never pretended to be a saint, I know that righteousness and discipline are the foundation of a nation. That is why what I desire for the Philippines is a prosperous society that includes everyone, a peaceful, law-abiding citizenry, and people of different beliefs who choose to get along with one another. That is why I appreciate the PMA. You have the template of discipline and civility. I ask that you continue this tradition, and thank you for inviting me to be part of you. Let us together build a nation worthy of the Filipinos, Filipinos worthy of their nation, Pilipinong nararapat sa Pilipinas, Pilipinas na nararapat sa Pilipino. Nasod nga angay sa Pilipino, Pilipinong angay sa Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas at maraming salamat sa inyo.
Talupod! Da!
We will now proceed with the giving of memento to our guest of honor, to be presented by Cavalier Avenido, Chairman, PMAAAI, and Cavalier Kagawan, President, PMAAAI. May we request everyone to please rise.
The PMAAAI is presented to President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Republic of the Philippines, as a memento for being the guest of honor during the PMA Alumni Homecoming on 18 February 2017 at the Philippine Military Academy, Fort General Gregorio H. del Pilar, Baguio City. Thank you. You may now be seated. The Brigade Commander orders present arms to present the Cadet Corps to our guest of honor, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Republic of the Philippines.
Tanghal! Ta!
We request everyone to please stand.
Mga pinuno, tanghal. Ta!
Thank you. You may now be seated.
Mahal na Pangulo, handa na po ang mga talupad upang libutin.
Military ceremonial parades have been established to bestow honor to the Philippine flag, our national symbol. Recipients of awards and decorations are also accorded this honor. This is followed by the inspection of the troops, if the reviewing officer so desires. The Philippine Military Academy is not a clone of its American counterpart. It is one unique institution per se, a product of a long history, a history in itself. The Academy has earned its place in the struggle to attain freedom and independence for the Filipino people. Its roots is an expression of the direction, Filipino patriotism and nationalism that has taken over the years, a way of proving true to our national hero's vision of an educational and training institution for future leaders, dedicated to protect the people in the service of God and country. President Rodrigo Roa Duterte was born on March 28, 1945 in Maasin, Southern Leyte, to Vicente Duterte and Soledad Roa, who were both civil servants. His mother was a public school teacher, while his father was a government worker. President Duterte traces his roots to the Visayas. He spent his early years in Danao, Cebu, the hometown of his father, but his lineage has also direct ties from Mindanao, as his mother hails from Cabadbaran, Agusan del Norte, while his paternal grandmother was a Maranao. In 1949, when he was 4 years old, his family resettled in the then undivided Davao, where his father Vicente later entered the political arena and was elected governor of the province. He served from 1959 to 1965. President Duterte graduated in 1968 with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science at the Lyceum of the Philippines University. He obtained a law degree from San Beda College of Law in 1972. He passed the bar exam that same year. President Duterte served as special counsel and later on became a city prosecutor at the City Prosecutor's Office in Davao City from 1977 to 1986, when he was appointed as officer in charge vice mayor of Davao City. Ladies and gentlemen, trooping in line before you is the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Rodrigo Roa Duterte. He is accompanied by Lieutenant General Donato B. San Juan II, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Superintendent, Philippine Military Academy, and by the Brigade Commander, Cadet First Captain Johnny Marhomsar III, CCAFP. President Duterte ran and successfully won the mayoralty post in 1988. Since then, President Duterte has not lost an election. He was among the longest-serving mayors in the Philippines and has been mayor of Davao City for 7 terms, totaling more than 22 years. He also served as vice mayor and as congressman of the city's 1st congressional district. On May 9, 2016, President Duterte won in a landslide victory as the Philippines' 16th president. He was officially proclaimed by a joint session of the Philippine Congress on May 30, 2016. He is the first Mindanaoan president and the first local chief executive to get elected straight to the office of the president. Today, his gracious presence honors not only the sons and daughters of the Longgray line, but the Philippine Military Academy as a whole. As our guest of honor, who is a staunch advocate of the same resolute virtues of PMA, courage, integrity, and loyalty, troops the line. The solid ranks agree rally behind him, confident that he will bring the whole nation to genuine development. Similarly, the whole academy embraces the change the president institutes in the same way that it continues to implement reforms that would align the academy's mission and vision to that of the Philippine society. Throughout the years, the academy has changed into an institution that the founding fathers can be proud of, a military institution which continuously molds leaders for the future. Looking back at history, Trooping the Line was brought about by the invasion of mainland Greece by the Dorians in 1200 BC. This is the act of inspecting the soldiers before and after each battle. Today, we still observe this military tradition to signify the common trust between the troops and their commander. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest of honor, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, Republic of the Philippines. Among the attendees in today's Alumni Homecoming are the members of the PMA class celebrating its 60th year, the class of 1957. They came in full force, at least, the still able ones with their spouses and the fruits of their labor, their children and grandchildren, totaling to 266 warm bodies. The PMA class of 1957 entered the portals of PMA as plebes at the Navy Base Polo Fields, Baguio City on April 1st, 1953, numbering 105 aspiring new cadets. 102 remained after Beast Barracks and became new cadets. After a grueling 4 years at Fort del Pilar, 72 graduated on April 16, 1957, the most number in the classes of 1950s. The class had produced 40 general officers. Of this number, 1 became AFP Chief of Staff, 3 major service commanders. The rest were members of GHQ Joint Staff, commanders of the Armed Forces of the Philippines Major Subordinate Commands, brigade and division commanders of the Philippine Army, regional commanders of the Philippine Constabulary, and commanders of the naval commands of PMA. 2 members of the class had served as Secretary of National Defense and Executive Secretary to the President of the Philippines. Today, after 60 years, they proudly shout, "Hail to PMA!" One of the Academy's cherished traditions is the annual Alumni Homecoming Parade that allows Cavaliers from different places throughout the archipelago to converge in Luwakan and reminisce the time where once in their youthful years they proudly belonged. Today's Alumni Homecoming Parade and Review is dedicated to all Cavaliers, young and old. Welcome home, sons and daughters of our proud alma mater. Alumni Homecoming is a major event in the Academy's proud heritage. All Cavaliers look forward with great enthusiasm to be in PMA and join the long gray line, to reminisce their glorious cadet days, rekindle the inviolable bond of camaraderie among them, to be accorded the rare honor of its alma mater, and have the opportunity to march together and troop the line of the Corps of Cadets in the hallowed grounds of the Borromeo Field. The annual Alumni Homecoming is one of the Academy's cherished traditions. Being back in the Academy is a very nostalgic experience to all Cavaliers. Even the most senior members are reminded of how they lived their youthful years in the 4 corners of Fort del Pilar. They are reminded of how they were molded from their carefree and simple life as civilians to leaders of character, gentlemen and ladies, and to whatever they have become now. Their cadet days in the Academy have been and will always be a significant phase in their lives. Such memories are treasured and forever be kept at the deepest entrenchments of their hearts and minds. Like a caterpillar that webbed its cocoon and soon emerged a butterfly, beautiful to behold. The Academy, with all its legacies, stands out as a real beacon of the land, immaculate, reverent, and priceless. The annual homecoming parade recaptures its metamorphosis, the glorious transformation of the Philippine Military Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, passing in front of you are the members of the Long Gray Line, the proud sons and daughters of the Philippine Military Academy, our beloved alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, the first class with females, the PMA class of 1997. Ladies and gentlemen, the youngest class, the PMA Gabay Laya class of 2016.
May we request everyone to stand for the singing of the PMA Alma Mater song. Thank you. You may now be seated. The brigade commander orders the corps to pass in review.
Samasid.
Ladies and gentlemen, passing in review before you is the Cadet Corps Armed Forces of the Philippines, led by the Brigade Commander, Cadet First Captain Johnny Maruamsar III, from Iligan City with his staff, Andy Ranario, Kevin Martinez, Rovi Martinez, Heinrich Villarreal, Jeril Subol, Rolly Oliveras, Kathleen Baybayan. The Philippine Military Academy Band under the baton of Master Sergeant Francisco de Sahagun, Philippine Army. 1st Battalion Commander, Cadet First Class Marshal Peñaflor from Leyte with his staff, Jun Poblete, Alan Macalintar, Gabriel De Vera, Kiefer Guardaya, Miko Evangelista. Alpha Company Commander, Cadet First Class Reggie Espinosa from Leyte with his staff, Celia Agabas, Zarina Vidalio, Ruben Suba. 1st Platoon Leader, Glenn Gabertan from Tarlac. 2nd Platoon Leader, Jerome Axalan from Oriental Mindoro. 3rd Platoon Leader, John Patrick O from Pangasinan, with the company First Sergeant Kerby Buzon. Bravo Company Commander, Cadet First Class Catherine Gonzalez from Zamboanga City, with her staff Carlo Gabinay, Edaglis Marapao, Mateo Gambe. 1st Platoon Leader, Irineo Macalintal from Bulacan. 2nd Platoon Leader, Sharade Katipay from Cebu City. 3rd Platoon Leader, Gerard Brian Potato from Lipas City, Batangas, with the company First Sergeant R.G. Sahurda. 2nd Battalion Commander, Cadet First Class Dan Allen Pamonag from Quezon City, with his staff Dan Cabaruan, Alison Bravo, Manny Lonzanida, Ray Dominguez, Kevin Adan. Charlie Company Commander, Cadet First Class Cesar Hawthorne B. Binag Jr. from Quezon City, with his staff Joy Fernandez, Jenny Moore Amod, John Asuncion. First Platoon Leader, Benilyn Dumingsil from Ilocos Norte. Second Platoon Leader, Trisha Hilario from Albay. Third Platoon Leader, Sonny Rosita from Batangas, with the company First Sergeant John Rex Laracochea. Delta Company Commander Cadet First Class Gino Villanueva from Quezon, with his staff Pearl Paracale, Somi Alwing, Mark Romeroso. As the colors pass in front of you, may we request everyone to rise and render the appropriate courtesy. You may sit down after the colors have passed. Delta 1st Platoon Leader Cristina Mojica from Batangas. 2nd Platoon Leader John Silva. 3rd Platoon Leader Fritz Cordero, with the company First Sergeant Juaneno Intelihando. Ladies and gentlemen, the colors, led by its color officer, Cadet First Class Mac Columbus Cartailo from Negros Islands. 3rd Battalion Commander, Cadet First Class Denkert Macapagal from Pampanga, with his staff Jay Mundoy, Katrina Javier, Edel Manalo, Kay Robles, Miriam Lebong Cogon. Echo Company Commander Antonio Gonzalez from Muntinlupa City, with his staff Harvey Perido, Sheila de Guzman, Annalyn Bautista. First Platoon Leader Juliet Serio from Pampanga. Second Platoon Leader Norberto Peria from Palawan. Third Platoon Leader Jerry Caballero from Batangas, with the company First Sergeant Hemerson Mara. Foxtrot Company Commander Cadet First Class Nijar Basiri from Holosulu, with his staff Anime Astillero, Abigail Laturnas, Reggie Balingway. First Platoon Leader Paulo Gonzaga from Lanao del Norte. Second Platoon Leader Mary Wendrit Velasco from Negros Occidental. Third Platoon Leader Jero Jade Nicor from Bulacan, with the company First Sergeant Zacarias Tongia. 4th Battalion Commander Cadet First Class Dani Capel from Cavite, with her staff Grace Luntayao, Franklin Del Yomos, Jose Soribas, Darrell Masangkay, Ramon Mitra. Golf Company Commander Albert Rempilio from Albay, with his staff Philip Vizcaya, Liza Gamad, Zaldi Mark Encina. First Platoon Leader Doylan Senyo from Mindoro. Second Platoon Leader Julie Bebs Pacumba from Negros Oriental. Third Platoon Leader Arthur Flora from Nueva Ecija, with the company First Sergeant Marvin Kadungog. Hawk Company Commander Cadet First Class Leozar Lee Ruiz from Cavite, with his staff Gerald De La Cruz, Marjorie Depositario, Juston Camarador. First Platoon Leader Karen Joy Gamboa from Nueva Ecija. Second Platoon Leader Kenneth Joseph Yabo from Bukidnon. Third Platoon Leader Junrey Bordado from Zamboanga del Norte, with the company First Sergeant Randy Orio. Members of the Speaker's Board, Cadet First Class DC Antimica Leopoldo, Cadet Second Class Ivan Tayona, Jazaira Beneventura, Cadet Third Class Jadine Caratao, Francois Cagasan, Reggie Olongayo.
Mahal na Pangulo, tapos na po ang seremonya. Mga pinuno, antabay salong. Alis! Taas! Saksak! Baba! Rap sa kanan. Rap! Pasulong. Kad!
And that concludes this morning's ceremony. On behalf of the Superintendent and the Commandant of Cadets, Philippine Military Academy, we appreciate your visit to PMA. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay ang Republika ng Pilipinas. May we request everyone to please remain seated. Thank you. May we request President Rodrigo Roa Duterte and his party, together with the Superintendent, Philippine Military Academy, and other officers of the Philippine Military Academy, to proceed to Longayban Hall for lunch.
Andre, hanap ka ng misis mo ah.